Yay. It's working. Good morning. It's early. It's just a little after 8 o'clock. It's 8:17 in my world. So if you happen to catch this live, you're either likely in another country ahead of my time zone, or you're up early and checking in because yeah, it's pretty early. I mean, fortunately, as you can see, there's some sunlight peeking through the clouds. It was looking really gray. It's been looking really gray for a while now, but I'm really happy to see a little bit of blue sky up there. So hello. Let me get settled for a minute. I have some tea. I'm at the office, what I like to call my office, where I come and I have a little quiet time for myself, because I'm displaced right now, y'all. I'm a little displaced. So I have created a place for myself in the cold, dark winter. Hello, people. Good morning. I see you hopping on. And a thumbs up. Thank you. You know, I always love those. That's so nice. Just affirmation is always a good thing. You know, speaking of affirmation, I'm fixing my tea right now. I don't want to spill. I should have made my own tea at home, but I didn't. I left, and then I was like, well, I want to go to the office. I don't want to go back home and make my tea, so I stopped and I purchased tea. But mine's better at home because it's fresh, and I do garlic, ginger, and lemon, and honey, and all that. This has some honey in it, but it's not the fresh, raw honey that I like. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, affirmations. So I saw this video clip, just a piece of an interview. I think it was a podcast recently. It was a podcast, but there's a video to it, right? And this woman was talking about, she was asked by the interviewer about, so the interviewer, I believe, I haven't seen a lot of what she's done, but the interviewer is like a sex therapist or I don't think she just does sex, but that's one of the things she includes in her work, like wellness in general, and you know, living your, it's so cliche now, but like living your best life, all that. She does all that. Hi, I have no idea what that says. I believe that's Arabic. I have no idea what you're writing to me, but hello. So yeah, the interviewer is that kind of like, she deals in that, you know, helping people create space and avenues for bringing out their best in whatever way. But I do think that she also focuses on sexuality as part of that, because that's part of it in my world, at least, hopefully in your world too. But I think it's part of a well-balanced life. And so she was asking another woman about, like, not like so much what was your best sexual experience, but kind of like that, like, was there a time when you felt really, let's just call it best experience, I don't know. And you know, you can think people may typically have a certain type of answer for that question. Oh my gosh, this person did this to me, or we were like that. And her answer wasn't typical in that way. What she said was, of course I'm paraphrasing, she said, yeah, I had an experience where it was just full. She started by saying it was full of consent. It's like, okay, well, hopefully they're all consensual. But she said just a lot of yes, and like, can I touch you here? Yes. Do you like this? Yes, whatever. And then she said that her partner began to affirm her, was really affirming. And salam alaikum, walaikum assalam. That's all I know. She said that her partner was affirming her. The woman's like, well, what do you mean by that? And she said, well, like, during their time together, her partner was saying things like, I mean, certainly things like, you know, you're beautiful and I love you, but also you're really, what was it, like you're successful, or you're so powerful, and you can do anything. And I forget, the ones she said were really good. I was like, wow, that is powerful. I could see how that could make it for a great experience. And frankly, not just in the bedroom, but period. Can you imagine if, whether it's with your friends or your partner, or certainly to ourselves, we spend more time affirming ourselves, and just like really vocalizing positive messages, how good that would feel. Imagine if you were with somebody and they're just always just kind of pouring blessings onto you. That's such a beautiful thing, and it's so powerful. And so I kind of decided, yeah, I want to start doing that, Like look in the mirror in the morning and say, good morning, you're so beautiful, you're so powerful, you know, you've accomplished so much. I don't want it to always be about like doing, like accomplishing and achieving, because there's that sense of like having to keep going and working for it, but just affirming, you're so valuable. I love who you are. I don't know, just things like that. Anyway, it's just a little clip of a video, maybe 30 seconds. I don't know. It wasn't very long, but it was very impactful. So I like that. So that's what I'll start off with today, is like just being affirming and sharing that with, certainly sharing with other people. I mean, this was, like I said, in a very intimate setting that this woman was talking about. I love you. I love you too. Thank you. So obviously in intimate settings, that just makes you more comfortable and more, that's what she said too. I think she said it was like where she felt like the safest and the most willing to kind of really open up and become vulnerable and all that kind of stuff. So you can imagine that experience became just exponentially more pleasurable, because it's not just like physical pleasure, it's like all of your different, you're being stimulated in like the words that I'm thinking about is like safety kind of thing. But it just, it just creates a space of feeling really good and feeling like, okay, I can, like there's some trust being built, right? I think so. I think if you're with the right person, that's what could happen. But my point also is that outside of just intimate settings, to just constantly like affirm people, especially people that you care about and that you love, that are in your life, your family, your friends, your loved ones, your partner, all that, like affirm them. Let them know you appreciate them. Let them know you love them and you care about them and you think that what they're doing is amazing, or I love how you stuck with that challenge and you pushed through it, and all of that. So, and then obviously affirm yourself. I need to do a better job of that. I'm pretty good at it sometimes, but especially when things are challenging, it's easy to see the fault and like, oh no, the physical things where I look okay, whatever. But also like, oh my gosh, have I done enough? Am I far enough along in my life? Have I worked hard enough to get to a certain place, whatever. And I think we get enough of that in the world anyway, right? We get enough of that kind of stuff. So I think it's important to really develop the habit of affirming ourselves. Okay, so that was not part of really what I planned to talk about, but I'm glad that did come up. But what I was thinking about, actually, the reason I decided to hop on is because I've had a lot of opportunity lately and stimulus to think about challenging times. And I talked about this a little bit before, but because there's, it's come up more. And the season, like it's winter, it's cold. Look at the trees. There's no leaves on the trees. It looks like everything's dead. It's hard. It's not like a warm, wonderful feeling season. It's, things don't look like they're lively and beautiful. And, folks aren't outside rejoicing and like, woohoo, sitting at the picnic table and, popping grapes in their mouth and swimming in the lake or whatever. Everyone's huddled up and cold, and we're contracted, right? It's a contractive season. It's not expansive in the way that summertime is, where you're like, and you just want to like open up and take off layers. We want to peel off things. Now we want to put things on and cover up. And so it can be hard, And then on top of that, when you're already feeling like you want to curl up and be closed because it is not, comfortable weather or a comfortable season, if you add challenges on top of that, it can be even more difficult. So as I've shared, I'm on the East Coast right now, which may be obvious from looking at outside, but we've had this change in our external world. For those of us in the US, we've had a change. A lot of people are kind of really concerned about that and worrying about the fallout of that. And whether it's that kind of stuff, like whether you're concerned about your career, job prospects, if you're having difficulty with that, if it's financial challenges, if you're having challenges in relationships, if you're having to take care of people, and that's putting, stress and burden on you, both physically, mentally, financially, any of those kinds of things. If your health isn't the best, all of the types of things that people typically think about. I think it's a good time, actually. This season is a really good time to kind of quiet ourselves and allow this dormant period to nurture us, because there is nurturing that's going on, but it's the unseen, what's below ground. These trees are not dead. There's a whole system. What is it, mycelium and everything? Did you guys watch any of those documentaries on mushrooms? How amazingly fascinating and powerful and important mushrooms are, that whole network. I believe it's called mycelium or mycelium, I don't know. But that the trees and the roots of the trees, it's there's a massive, vast network of life that is running beneath our feet at all times. At all times. And it is perpetuating all of this life that we see, well, really we don't see right now, but that we will see above ground. And it doesn't stop just because it's cold outside or because it gets dark early or any of those kinds of things. And I think that's analogous to what happens or what can happen with us if we take the opportunity to turn inward and to feed ourselves. I was thinking today about, and many days recently, about, okay, Kelly, in the midst of, the season in your life, what do you need to do for yourself to help you get to the spring, beautiful, expansive time, right? When it's a contracted period, when you're not going to receive all that you want from your external world, what do you need to give yourself? How do you feed yourself, right? It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows every day right now because it's cold and it's dark and the earth is hard and all that, metaphorically speaking. But I know what I need. I still need nourishment. I still need, all the check the boxes that we as humans need to thrive. And if I can't look around in my outer world and say, okay, can I count on this to be, the apple tree to produce an apple every week for me? No, but I can count on myself to know where to get an apple. I can do that, right? So let me make sure that I am my own priority, that I'm making sure that I'm getting what I need. And it sounds really simple. It sounds really simple to sit here and talk about it and go, well, of course. But for me, at least, when I'm in those moments, I'm like, I want an apple. How come where's the apple? The apple tree, why don't you just give me my apple? I want an apple every week. What's up? No, it's well, yeah, I know I want an apple every week. So let me make sure I have an apple. Let me make sure I have apples in my home, at least one or two, so that when those times come, because maybe I want 2 in a week. Maybe, I need a little extra that week because I'm feeling low on nourishment, that I am doing what it takes to provide that for myself. And then when the apple tree does, suddenly start bearing fruit again, wonderful, because now I have an excess of apples. Maybe I can make a pie, or I can make some juice. I can share it, and I have overflow. It's interesting because when I make these videos, sometimes it seems like it can be so simplistic and so obvious in the moment. Or maybe, yeah, in the moment that I'm talking about it, or after the moment when the actual thing has occurred, the need has arisen. But when I'm in the moment of actually wanting the apple, for example, I'm not always balanced. Even keel. Oftentimes I am very not balanced. I'm very much unbalanced. I'm like that little kid inside of me is kind of kicking and screaming, like, why can't I have it right now? It's like, well, you can, but where are you going to get it from is the question. Give it to yourself. Give it to yourself. And a very dear friend of mine has been repeating this message to me for some months now. Kelly, love yourself. Take care of yourself. Give yourself what you need. And I'm like, I know. And I do know. But I realize I've been like also shaking the tree. Looking at this tree up here, like, but where is it? Why doesn't the tree have apples? Because it's not apple season. That's why. So it's a process, you guys. It's a process. That's what I have to say about this. And so in the midst of winter, I'm learning lessons. I am in the midst of the season. I'm learning, and I will say this too. Growth is painful. Change is painful. I was having this conversation with some people recently too, and I thought about this as I was leaving. We were ending 2024 and 2025 was beginning, because I knew it's like, okay, I want to make these changes. Here's what I envision. Here's what I'm looking forward to in this year, this 2025 year. Great things, right? Personally, professionally, and all the different areas. And they're wonderful goals, and it's going to feel great when I get there. But in order to get there, I have to crack open this old tight shell that I've been really accustomed to. It's like a snake shedding a skin, right? Okay, this fits great. I have this wonderful suit. It's got me perfectly fit to a T. When I slither this way, it goes with me and all that stuff. But it's like, great, but I don't want to be in the same skin anymore. I want the 2025 version. I want the upgrade. Well, then that means you have to take off this one and get uncomfortable. Ooh, it's cold out there. I feel naked. I feel exposed. I feel whatever, right? Right, but do you want the same one? No, you want the new one. So you have to shed it off. You have to let it go. And probably be a little exposed and vulnerable until the new skin can come on. Because let's say, okay, this is my old skin. I take this off. I just have this soft, delicate, now unprotected underbelly that I want to guard, right? It's me. I want to guard it until I put on the new, and I can get into the new fitting, beautiful stuff and make sure that then, okay, fits in all the right places. I can tighten it up. Well, that takes a minute. That's growth. And so it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to shed the old stuff because it may not all come off in one piece. It may be like, strip this part off here. This part down here might stick and I have to yank it. I might have to scrub it a little bit to get it off. And then I feel maybe it's a little bit raw where I had to scrub it, or it's a little bit sensitive. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that's what I mean when I say change and growth are painful. Not like this horrible pain. I mean, I guess it can be, but what I'm thinking about is not like a traumatic kind of a thing. Hopefully not. It's just uncomfortable. It's the unknown. There's discomfort. I talked about this before. But I think growth requires some discomfort. I mean, again, you think about winter. There's nothing poking through the snow right now, or if you're in a different region, there's nothing poking through kind of the hard earth. Stuff is down there, it's dormant. Hi, Leonard from Texas. There's nothing poking through right now. It's not the season. But the little seeds, the acorns, or whatever it is, are down there, and they're like, okay, we're going to huddle tight. And then when it does get warmer and the soil loosens up and some rain comes and kind of lets things move around, then it starts poking through the soil. So there is life beneath this hard exterior. Right? You guys hear me? My hair doing? It's in a thing back here. That's what it's doing. I put some rosemary oil in my hair this morning. I'm trying to take care of it because I damaged it a while ago. Anyway. What was I saying? Yeah, about growth and change and difficulty and discomfort. And I think the more we can, I'll speak for myself. The more I can, Dominicana, hola, desde Florida, ¿qué tal? The more that we can just get comfortable with this unknown, strange period where we don't know what's going to happen and we don't know when and where's my apples and all that type stuff, then the more, okay, here's what I read the other day too. And maybe I was listening to something. If we hold on to like, okay, I need the apples from this tree right here, and so I'm just going to keep shaking this tree until an apple shows up, that is disturbing the flow of nature. That's not how apples show up. That you're shaking the tree is not going to make them grow any faster. You're going to frustrate yourself. You might even damage the process because you disturb the roots or you break off a branch or whatever. And so where the apple would have grown, now you have broken off that life flow, and so it can't grow. Whereas if you just go park yourself somewhere else, go inside, warm up, read a book, go to the store, buy your own apples in the meantime, right? Take care of yourself, nurture yourself. Then the tree's like, okay, I'm free to like produce apples. Then the universe can be like, oh, guess what? We had a couple of extra warm days. So boom, that apple cycle has been sped up a little bit. So you're going to actually get apples before you thought they were coming in April. Maybe I'm going to give you a couple in March now. Thank you for not breaking off those branches with your neurotic, impatient self. I tell you, I'm learning through this. I am. It is not a linear process. Some days I'm like, yes, I get it, and I'm executing, it's great. And other days it's like, whoop, 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 fall back. Or I'm on a different path or whatnot. But I am learning. I am committed to this growth. And I feel good about that. Child, it ain't easy. I'm going to tell you, it is not easy all the time. So I have been very challenged through this season in many ways. It feels like in all the major ways, everything has been challenging me to figure out what's the plan, what's the move, how am I going to execute it, how am I going to get through this difficult time, how long is this going to last, what is the end result, how do we get there, and am I getting my reward? You know, it's a lot. And doing things that I have. So let's talk about jobs. So I haven't worked a traditional job in many years. I've had a different type of career path. And it's worked for me. It's been, you know, in some ways very rewarding, in some ways kind of challenging, because it's not the typical career path where I had certain things I could count on, like a regular paycheck in some instances. It was kind of, you know, project-based or whatever. And, but it was okay. And so now, though, recently I've been doing more of the traditional kind of like job hunting and applications. And, I don't like that. I don't like it because it's just, if I feel powerless and I feel like I'm just asking. And so it's like, well, create something then. Create your own thing. I'm trying to tell people, I have all these things I can offer you. I can do all these things, and I can. Right? I built up all these skills. I have all this experience. Well, then make something out of that, and then you sell that instead of asking someone for a chance to, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so, which is great, but it's also kind of nerve-wracking because I'm like, oh no, now I got to build my own thing, and I got to prove to myself that I can do this, right? For other people. So anyway, just an example. So it's a challenging time, but I'm learning so much about myself, and I'm learning so much about just this process of growth and being uncomfortable and like plateauing. So like you go up on this like growth spectrum, I'll call it. And then, you know, it can be tough, like climbing up the hill, trying to learn something new or not have the same reactions and not the same triggers and all that. So like, okay, I see, that's a trigger. That's because of this thing that happened before. And maybe I'm thinking this way. But is it rational that I'm thinking that way? Is there really a reason, or is that just some old programming? Oh, that's the old programming. Okay, well then put that aside, keep climbing up. Then you're like, bing, you reach the plateau. Like, yes, you have arrived at level 2. And level 2 feels great. And you're like, yeah, you get a hug when you get there. Good job, right? And you get to just kind of, you know, lay back and relish in how that feels for a while. And that's good. But that's not the end point. I want to be at level 10, let's say. So, okay, I'm going to enjoy a little bit of level 2. And either I decide I want to keep climbing, or it's like, okay, door closed on level 2 because something else got to happen now. Level 2 is no longer available. Level 2 is being, you know, directed over here now. And so now you got to either be comfortable on your own there or decide, okay, it's time to pack up and let's go to level 3 and then climb some more. You know, it's just this continuous process of evolving. It is. At least it is for me. I don't know about y'all. Are y'all evolving? I'm trying to evolve. Because I have places I want to be, I have things I want to do, I have people I want to do them with, and places I want to enjoy those things in. Mm-hmm. I want to have the means to enjoy them well. I do. And it's not all about money for me. I've had this conversation also with people. It's not all about money, but I mean, come on, let's be real. Money helps make a good time a great time, right? It can. I'd never want to lose sight of the content or the meaning or the real nugget of what's good in anything. But if we can put some icing on the cake, you know, because we can, why not? Why not? You know, you can have a romantic night in a 3-star hotel. That can happen. You can have some candles and some music and a lovely partner and all those kinds of things. You could have a phenomenal night in a 5-star hotel. Same partner, same candles and everything, but ooh, different bedding, different view, right? Different level of service. So yeah, I just want to avail myself of lots of nice things, but maintaining a certain type of simplicity. You know, I don't want to get overcomplicated with stuff and trappings. But I want to be able to enjoy and have the freedom and flexibility. So anyway, it's all a process. That's all I'm saying. It's once again, stream of consciousness, riffing from the office. That's what I should call this series, Riffing from the Office with Kelly, because that's what I'm doing out here. And so I come here sometimes and I sit in my office and I contemplate. Sometimes it's like, what do I have to do today? What do I need to do to put myself in the right frame of mind, to achieve things, you know, for myself physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, all that. And sometimes it's just like meditate and chill, say my prayers, give thanks, be grateful, all that. So that's all I got right now, I think, you guys. Other than I will say, in the midst of this winter season where it may feel bleak and dark and hard, remember that that's not what you see above ground is not all there is. There's definitely some below ground growth happening. And I think the choice is ours to embrace it and make the most of it and enjoy this downtime, this quiet time when no people are not out like partying on the rooftop and hanging out at the beach and everything. They're curled up at home. And so do that too. What is it that you want to have happen when it is sunny and warm outside? What is it that you want to have happen when the door of opportunity does open for you? What tools do you want to have ready to go? Right? Of any kind. Work on that. Work on yourself. Work on your emotional well-being. Work on your physical well-being. Work on your financial wherewithal. And you don't have to do it all at once, you know? One of the things actually I'm really trying to do is just be quiet. Just like go, like listen to myself, which is like listen to God inside of me going, okay, you've been a little anxious lately. You need to like take care of yourself, pet yourself, calm that down, you know, go take a walk, which is kind of hard now because it's cold, or whatever, you know, write about it, you know, maybe have a conversation with someone and talk through it. Call somebody who knows how to, you know, help you disengage those things. So that's what I have to share. That's what I'm doing. That's what I think is working for me. I think it's working. Like I said, it's not linear. Bye, Leonard. Thank you. Thank you for joining my, what do I call this thing? Riffing from the car, riffing from my office chat. You have a great weekend too. All right, guys, I think that's what I have. I'm gonna sip my tea, go home, and get ready for my day. Be quiet. I'm gonna have some quiet time at home. My tea is perfectly warm right now. I hope that was helpful. Mwah! You know, I'm always sending you love, peace, and love. Okay, have a great day, guys. Bye. Don't be worried about the discomfort. Embrace it and let it take you to someplace better. If you're uncomfortable, it could mean that you're really growing. It's an opportunity.